Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Oi, Joy.
What it is.
What it is.
What it looked like.
What that booty do. What's the things people are saying these days? What those lips do.
They're not saying that.
Show me what those lips do or something like that.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. I ain't stupid. I ain't crazy.
It's just that sometimes you make up things and...
The lies.
But is it though?
Okay. Well,
I mean, it's 2022.
It's 2022. What it do?
Wow, you can tell that we are not excited. But who is?
The thing of it is, at this point, it's 2020 part 2.
Yeah.
Who knew that this decade was going to be... Wait, wasn't the 1920s when the Depression happened?
Was it? Well, they had the Roaring Twenties first, right? Because they came out of
flappers and shit.
A pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it came out of the Spanish flu and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then
TB
went wild.
all the TB deaths too.
So, I guess 2024, 2025. Because at this point they're saying it's going to be endemic or whatever. Don't ask me to define that word, but apparently that's when it lasts forever.
Oh. Ever. Yeah,
Like
I mean that's what everybody's preparing for now, right? It's just like, oh well, someone's trying to get it sometime. Just go ahead and get it.
I'm going to take a hard pass because, while Omarion is out here putting...
the dance moves on everybody.
Putting icebox where hearts used to be.
Ooh.
That shit also apparently really attacks your throat next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not here for that. I cannot do it.
I mean, what would they do if it messed up your vocal cords?
That too.
What if my vocal fry was gone?
I'd be devastated.
What if I couldn't give blowjobs anymore?
Now that you're like, do we have? Too bad we don't have a sound. It's just like,
yeah. I'm scared of that science.
Exactly. So, but never fear, listeners. We're very safe. We're vaccinated.
We're vaccinated.
And we test regularly.
We test
now.
regularly.
We've gone back to testing.
Yes. We've already tested twice this year.
Yep.
Here it is.
And it's only the
6th.
I know. You know why it's hard to recall that date? Because the 6th is no longer, January 6th is no longer a good date.
Oh, yeah. No,
States
it's a year anniversary of blah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so should we just move on?
Let's just move on to the Sad Bleak podcast. We're changing the name to Heartbreak to Meh. Because we can't even give enough energy to hate anymore. But we're doing our thing we do every single year for the new year. We've been doing it since the radio show, so this is our fifth year. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Yeah.
5th year.
That's crazy. I can't take it.
That's a lot. So this year we're doing it a little bit different. Would you like to explain to the audience what we're doing differently this year?
This year, we're doing resolutions for others. We have things that we need other people to do. Specifically, celebrities is our slant.
Yeah.
For the most part. But we have a few regular resolutions for others.
I mean, yeah.
It's tried and true, and we want to share that with you.
And if this resolution, sings to you, maybe it is something you should adopt yourself. Adopting resolutions is the new pet this year.
really seems to be.
I do have a comment on the resolutions. I feel like the resolutions were low this year. I feel like people didn't have resolutions like they normally do.
I think people are starting to figure out that it's also a lot fewer people saying New Year, New Me. So, like, people are just realizing. Like, we don't have hate. People don't have a lot of strong emotions. They don't have strong goals.
No, like right now, people's real goals are like eating dinner at Applebee's. Normally. Without having to wear a mask to the table, right?
Okay, yeah, without a mask. I got you.
Yeah, like that's the goal for the basic American.
Applebee's itself was the goal because I was like, wow.
Oh, Applebee's here closed. You didn't even know that.
I didn't. Well, when have we ever been there?
Mm.
No times in the 5 years I've been back.
Nope, no times.
So there's 2 of them, so maybe one of them's still open.
Is the one in your town still open?
I think the one in my town is still open. There's enough old people to support it.
Anyway.
Moving right along. Shall I give you just one easy softball celebrity?
Give me a wiffle ball, if you will.
Yes, I'm going to give you a wiffle ball. So here we go. James Corden.
Uh-huh.
People who have the fortune of not knowing who that is. James Corden does the carpool karaoke. I was trying to get the title right. So with all the celebrities who for some reason sit with this annoying individual and sing their songs on the radio. Also does a bit called Spill Your Guts and has used a lot of foods that are like traditional in specifically Asian cultures, but just like the idea that it's like, ew, it's like chicken feet or, you know what I mean? And really just kind of defaming foods that people actually eat. And like the whole idea is if you get a question wrong, you have to eat this thing. And oh my God, it's so gross. And so your face.
Well, because like, you told me to wait because you told me I didn't know anything about this. So I needed
and I was like, I want your actual...
Well, I just feel like... I mean, I feel from the jump, this is problematic.
It is. It is.
So I'm like, how is this? I mean, I know how.
So the whole thing is it's spill your guts or fill your guts. So like you get a question. I assume it's very much truth or dare. Okay. I've seen a little bit of a snippet of a thing, but like I don't care for this individual anyway. And so it's like if you aren't willing to answer the question, then you have to eat some mystery food in front of you. And like I said, it'll be different things. But a lot of them have been actual cuisine or like things that are traditional in other countries.
Right.
That we're then over here.
Ew.
Ew. Oh my God.
Right.
I can't, you know what I mean? And it's like, maybe don't hate on other people's like staple food items.
Right.
It just doesn't seem awesome.
No. Like why? I mean, the thing of it is like I was explaining to a coworker earlier, I'm white.
First time listeners are hearing that.
If listeners didn't know, so, pepper is a spice.
Right.
Because we were talking about my Italian beef, because she's from Chicago, so she's familiar with the place we got food from tonight. And she's like, yeah, I get that dip, get that pepper, get those peppers. And I was like, no, girl, no peppers. And she was like, what? Like, why? I'm like, because I'm white. And she was like, that's not an excuse. But that is what I'm saying. Like, as a white person, if there are things I won't, or not a white person, as a person who is a picky eater, there are lots of things I won't eat. Mm-hmm. Onions.
Right.
I don't think culturally I'm upsetting anybody if I say I don't eat onions.
I don't think so.
But if they're cooked in things, yeah, fine. But like flash out onions. But like, I don't eat those things. I don't make fun of other... But you're also
not like, ew, like every time you see me with something that's peanut butter, just slathered in peanut butter, you're not like, oh my God, Joy, I can't.
Because like peanut butter makes me sick to think about people eating it. But I will purchase a peanut butter filled egg for Joy.
Yes.
If I see them at the grocery store or whatever.
Me multiple peanut butter items.
Yeah. So like I support someone's choice to eat things that I find worse than dog shit, but I'm not going to like yeah, I get it. Like that's the whole thing is like, but it's so it just screams white to me.
It screams we don't have a research team or they don't care about anything beyond Americanness. So anyways, that's my simple one.
Okay.
Over to you, Bob.
So my resolution this year is for cannibalism to not be a topic this year.
Okay.
And so I'm specifically doing this for Army Hammer. So he had all these charges of sexual assault and cannibalism, or wanting to do acts of cannibalism.
Right.
And I mean, for me and others, I just, it's something I can't get my head around. I just can't understand that thought. But also with that,
I was like, are you frozen in time?
I'm posing. I'm like,
Come back.
I'm like saying, like, I don't understand it. So like, I don't understand cannibalism.
I don't either, so
I don't understand it outside of what I know cannibalism to be.
Okay.
So I don't understand it from a fetish standpoint. So
Right.
I hate to fetish bash, but I'm gonna know.
I was gonna say, if ever there was a fetish you could bash, I'm gonna say this one in bestiality. Like,
Yeah.
those are feeling safe to me.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe I'm crazy.
You are crazy, but yeah, I agree with you though. Thanks. So that was my first one.
Okay.
No more cannibalism.
So here's my next one, and it's kind of a joint one for us.
Ooh,
We
joints.
would like celebrities to stop covering dickhead behavior
Mhm.
with these very transparent fixes so on your behalf you said, every time a celebrity does something then they go into rehab. My specific example that I will give first is Demi Lovato. So they got online and trashed a frozen yogurt place because of the way that their options were and having all these like diet and this and that and the other listed, right? And then I just found it convenient that within like a week or so later they announced their pronouns were they, and that they're, I believe that part. It's the timing. It's when celebrities do things with the timing of it all. I'm in trouble for being a dickhead, so now let me do something that inspires all this, like, understanding and warmth towards me again, and people will forget that I was being a dickhead.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. And also, I just would like to point out that during all this conversation, that Joy used the correct pronouns for Demi Lovato. Every time they used a pronoun, you said they, even though that was the point of the whole thing.
It was,
and you
but
were
it's like,
very.
I believe there, but it's like that was probably a thing that was definitely released in that time because of what they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just came off very much at the time. Absolve me. Don't look over here. Look here. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to take away from their identity at all. I'm saying that's a cover. It's just like what were your examples of people going to rehab over stupid shit?
Like Army Hammer, like, I mean, they had this cannibalism. They had sexual assault charges. They go into rehab for 6 months. None of the articles or anything say that there's substance abuse or sexual, addiction and issues. Like, it just says they just go to rehab.
Yes.
It's a blanket.
It is. And
it comes out of the 80s, like I don't want to say romanticizing, but I feel like we did romanticize a little bit someone going into rehab, and that it became, and it is obviously a thing. Like, going through rehab is not easy at all, not discrediting anybody who's gone through it. But at the same time, like, we created this like superhero coming out of rehab and like coming back into the world and being like, you went through rehab. Yeah. And so like it then, like, if things happen again, then they go into rehab again, which it happens with addictions. But like, I feel like there was a guy in the research I did, I don't even want to talk about his name. He's some country singer. But like, he used the N-word in a video, and he was saying it to a friend who was, whatever reason, the video was publicized, obviously gonna get canceled.
Yep.
But then he goes into rehab.
I have to go into rehab for my racism.
I mean, that's the whole thing is like, I don't know. Like, also, when do you stop blaming people's problems, like saying racial things? Like, yeah, you may say racial things when you're sober and when you're drunk. I mean, that's the whole thing is like,
it's responsibility.
Where's the responsibility in that?
That's kind of what it is for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not to say that maybe you don't have other issues, but we're talking about adults. In none of the cases you and I are talking about children or minors. So, you know me, I'm like big on responsibility. If you can't have responsibility when you're out here fucking up, like, I don't know, that's just instant lack of respect. And then for you on top of it to go a mile further to absolve me or not have to address my fuck up, look at this shiny thing over here.
Right. Well, that's the thing is like, remember when people say, I'll just keep that in the back of my back pocket, which you would use it for terms when you were going to like keep something on, like, Joy fucked up, I'm the only one that knows.
Yeah.
5 years later down the line, there's going to be some point in time when I'm going to pull this motherfucking thing out of my back pocket and I'm going to say, remember this?
Yeah.
And that's what the pronoun situation was for Demi Lovato, because I'm sure their publicists, everybody around them, they have wanted to come out, they have wanted to discuss it, they've wanted to, bring it out. But I'm sure they're like, look, there's going to be a time. There's going to be a time when you need this.
Right.
To get you to, like, you're going to need this floaty to get you to the shallow end of the pool, because that's literally what people do. I mean, you throw that at people and there's absolution. I mean, that's the thing is like, I have many transgender friends in my pool of people and my chosen family. But that doesn't absolve them from being assholes and pricks and whatever. It's like,
right.
That doesn't change that they can be bad people and they can do bad things. Like, that does not take away from anything.
You and I are huge assholes, and this is why we will not absolve other people
Absolutely.
for asshole behavior. Absolutely not.
Just say, I'm that motherfucker. Yeah, they didn't have the shit I wanted, and I acted like I had privilege because of right now, 10 years into my career, people have treated me like I have privilege, and now I can't even think about not having privilege anymore. And that's how I treated this subject. Now, the thing is, like, people get on here and they do their apologies, and you're supposed to say, you take an apology, and you're supposed to accept it. But I don't accept a lot of people's apologies. Because sometimes not doing the act is an apology in itself.
Hello.
Because my whole point of, like, the rehab situation with this gentleman who used the N-word, maybe he was drunk, maybe he was doing stuff, blah, 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 and that's why, meaning that anybody who drinks could have a point of being racist and use that as an excuse. That's what using rehab afterwards for these situations means to me.
Yeah.
It takes away from the actual person who has an issue, because I've known these individuals, I've loved these individuals. So knowing people who are struggling with addiction, like, they're some of the most amazing, nicest people ever. Like, I just feel like,
no,
soapbox kicked, I'm off.
All right. So that was me.
And I want to get to, so that segues into Gina Carano. Do you know Gina Carano? They're an actress, and they were a female boxer for a while. Okay. Deadpool 1.
Okay.
Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. So they have publicly, like, refused to use people's pronouns, and just, like, made it a point to go out of their way to say, I will not use people's pronouns. Like, you're stupid for putting your pronouns in your profiles.
Okay.
And just like publicly, to the point of losing their job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, really? We're still here.
Yeah.
Like,
why?
Like, you can completely not, I mean, you can completely disagree with something, but if at the basis of everything in conversations of pronouns, if that's what the person wants, that's what the person gets.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So
You'd like to believe that. I mean, it feels like a simple thing, but as we know, there are many simple things that we cannot abide. And I feel like this is the perfect time for me to talk about, real quick, one that's more general. So kind of harkening back to our usual resolutions for others, which is the mask situation. Can we all agree to just bitch about the masks, but then still wear them? The same way that you bitch about your taxes, but you gotta pay them. The same way you bitch about the gas prices, but you ain't gonna walk everywhere. You're still gonna put gas in that motherfucker. Like, I hate wearing fucking masks, but I will. I'm not marching into somebody's store trying to give the workers COVID because I'm upset about it. I'm just gonna bitch like a normal American. Like, that's what we do. So can we just bitch and do the thing? We could do two together. Is that wrong?
Yeah, like, I have witnessed Joy go into a store, put a mask on, be very pleasant to everybody inside, then come back out, get in my car, rip that mask off like it just murdered her entire family, and then snap and pop off about it. So, yes.
But that was amazing. Because I was courteous of others. You're used to it.
Fuck plus, my feelings.
Well, we're in the same bubble. We're testing together. We're fine.
But yeah, no, it's completely, that's completely it, right? Like, it's the whole thing is, like, people don't want to pay taxes, and I love it when people say, I don't want to pay taxes for, like, you know, transgender people to have a sexual assignment. But you'll pay taxes for all this other shit that you don't care about or know about. Like, we've had that discussion. We need a la carte fucking taxes. Like, let me pick what I'll put. Like, I'll pay the same amount of taxes, but I don't want to pay taxes for someone's school. I don't want to pay taxes for someone's child because those are lifestyle choices. And I'm not paying for lifestyle choices. I've been paying for it for 40, like, I've been working, getting taxes taken out on my life since I was 13 years old. You know, my mom had the taxes taken out on my life before then, but, like, she still got the refund and all that stuff. But I have been paying taxes to the Americans since fucking Ronald Reagan was president.
Damn, that's a long time.
That's a long ass time. And so I've been paying for other people's kids, fucking putting shitty square pizza in your kid's school for years, and I don't want to pay anymore. Okay, I'm sorry.
We started in one place, and then we ended up in a whole other neighborhood.
I love your children.
No, but seriously, people, just put the fucking thing on. Like, be glad your store is open. Be glad your store is open. Okay?
Be glad your life is mildly inconvenience. Yeah. Like, it's the literal mind, like, I mean, and I've said to you, and I don't know if this is a freedom that I can get in 2022. I think it's too late to pass laws because they always start in January. So maybe if we can get it for 2023. But I really want the right not to carry a gun, but to punch a motherfucker who doesn't wear a mask in a store. Because my knuckles will be bloody every day. Because don't give me rights for violence.
No. You can't.
I can't have rights for violence.
That's going to be a no. Especially certain stores. Okay. Do you have another?
No, the show's over. Bye. Yeah, but my screen's locked. First, I'm inconvenienced. I'm going to throw my phone against the wall. So, okay. I mean, I know I'm going to be deep sighing until I'm dead. Right. So I'm every deep sigh is 1 foot in the grave that I'm not even gonna have because we know I'm going to be cremated and shot into space. But why do we continually have to have people who are famous for 20, 30, 15, throwing out random numbers, 5 years that you like and care about, that you find are amazing people, and then racist?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a general one as well, I guess. I mean, I can throw Sharon Osbourne's name out there, and the other country guy, I'll never remember his name. But, and it's not the only case, right? But the thing is, like...
Or encourage racists.
Or encourage racists. And I think that was Sharon Osbourne's situation, is that she was just... I understand what he's going through with Piers Morgan's situation, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like... There, at this point, racist people, I don't believe anybody that listens to our podcast is racist. But maybe somewhere, someday in 2060, when they unearth our podcast, someone will listen to it and understand that there's never going to be a point in time in history from this point on, mark it down, that you're not going to get shit for being racist. That, like, there's not going to be a turning point to where it's okay.
Again, yeah.
Like, you can continually, you know, vote for whatever party and whatever happens, and legislatively, yes, there will be things put in place to hold people of color back. But in the public eye and in the public forum, there's never going to be a time when you're going to be able to be racist again and people won't cringe.
Right, or there won't be some kind of consequences.
Right, because the thing is like, you're also at a turning point in America where the population is going to start being less white. And then what you going to do? Bad boy?
They're just going to keep changing the definition of who's white. But that's a whole nother discussion. I know your face right now. You're like, why would you say that? I hate you.
I think, you know, sometimes Joy acts like there's conversations that I've had that maybe I'm a little extreme, and maybe, you know, there's a polar opposite situation here. Like, Joy's the calm, cool-headed person that everyone adores and loves, and then I say the most wildest shit.
That is not true.
That's not formed in my head correctly. But you know why it's not formed in my head correctly? Because Joy pulls the trigger. She pulls the trigger while we're sitting at the table. It's like Russian roulette and a pretty gold gun with a pink handle. And she's just waiting to get me to go on a tangent. And if you notice, listeners, I did not go on the tangent that she wanted me to go on.
I wasn't trying to send you on a tangent. I swear. I just wanted to have a segue to explain. Okay. I threw Sandra Bullock's name out there.
Oh, yes.
And obviously my heart broke a little bit. Yours did not at all.
Because why? I've been saying this shit all along.
No, you weren't specifically.
I hate her.
You just hated her,
Right.
period.
There's reasons. There's reasons.
See? And you love to revise some shit.
I'm white and history is mine to control.
You said it. Anyways. So this clip reemerged of her talking about having a discussion with her son about which obviously, for those who don't know, her son is black. And then you give me the eye blink. That, you know, I guess he was wearing a hoodie because, you know, I've only just seen a short clip. I didn't want to, sometimes, dear listener, as a black person, I don't go further down the rabbit hole because my brain only has so much capacity. My emotions and my rage only have so much capacity. So sometimes I can't do further research.
Well, shit, you have it thrown in your face every day, so there's,
and that's the thing. And then because, you know, certain social media's figured out that it's clear that I'm black. But then, you know, I get all of the things that are like, you know, either teach you more or learn more. And it's like, some days I just don't want to learn. But anyways, neither here nor there. in the clip, it's damning enough because she's talking about her son was wearing a hoodie, and she's like, I pulled him aside and I was like, well, we have to have a chat, because people are scared, and so you can't. Do you think you should wear your hood up like that, or have your hands in your pocket? I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what she says. So it's on him to modify because people are scared, not because they're racist.
Right.
It was just the whole way that she approached it. And it was like, I mean, should I have expected better? No. But it stabbed me a little. It did.
And who bought him that hoodie, Sandy? Who bought him that hoodie?
I don't know that question. But anyways.
I mean, if she really had concern, stop the train before it gets on the tracks. I mean, trains are already on the tracks, but you know what I mean.
I get what I followed you.
But yeah, so oh, yeah, so I had a thing on Chrissy Teigen.
Oh, yes.
So Chrissy Teigen was under fire last year for being a bully, which facts.
Right.
But, and this is not to say her actions aren't wrong, but the American population created a Chrissy Teigen, because Chrissy Teigen, we've had this discussion. Who is she? What does she do?
Yes.
Is she selling me Avon? I don't know. But she really became famous for popping off and being bullying towards people on Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's like
famous for making fun of people, because before that, what I had said was, I guess she was sort of a model, but she just kind of appeared on that one karaoke show, and she was married to John Legend. And before
I think she was a Sports Illustrated model, which nothing against Sports Illustrated models, but let's be real, it's not Vogue. I'm just saying.
No, but it's like you said, she built her own name off of her activities online.
And so that's my thing, is like, was it millennials that did that? And then Gen Z came up and said, no. Because, I don't feel like Gen X would even care. I don't know. So that's my whole thing, is I guess, like, if you're going to, like, cancel someone for what you want them to be, maybe you should look inward.
Maybe. It's a crazy thought. How dare you want to live in such a world?
I don't.
I have a quick one.
Okay.
Sony Pictures. And not even just Sony Pictures. Any company producing anything, any TV show, movie, could you just listen to what the people want? Sony Pictures are the ones who gave the people Mike Richards as the host of Jeopardy. When the whole world got together and we all declared that we wanted fucking LeVar Burton, motherfucking Reading Rainbow, to be the host. And they picked this jackass Mike Richards nobody knows. And oh, surprise, he did what, like 4 episodes and then was racist. Can't you just let the people have what they want? Is that so?
I agree. People should have what they want. But here's my thing with LeVar Burton. Also, he's going to be in Danville next week or something like that. I don't know if you knew that or not. Close to us. We can research after. I don't think the people want LeVar Burton to be LeVar Burton. This is my thing. People want LeVar Burton to always be LeVar Burton. Reading Rainbow, Geordi from Star Trek. Like, I think that, like, we want LeVar Burton to be more, but once that happens, what do we get what we want, or did we not want that at all? You know what I mean?
Well, see, you're referencing those two, but a lot of, like, myself, I remember Reading Rainbow, but I also remember Roots. And so it's like,
oh, well, yeah.
I feel he's given enough range that we could take something different.
But that's the thing, is, like, but he's in, that's what I'm saying, though. He's in a position of love where he's done all these amazing things that are, referential and important, and always been a pioneer of literacy, which
Yep.
I feel is something that a lot of people give up on, me included. And so I just feel like sometimes when you take somebody out of that love box and place them into another box, that something happens to skew that. And it's like a historical type thing.
I get you.
Like,
To me, it made perfect sense because Alex Trebek was so loved and LeVar Burton is so... You know what I mean? It was like, we don't want anybody, but we will happily accept LeVar Burton. And they were like, no, we're just going to give you some shithead that nobody wants.
Nobody
His mother didn't fucking want him to be the fucking host.
Was he
Not that I feel
Canadian?
strongly. I don't know.
Alex Trebek was Canadian.
And that's good.